All right. Oh snap! It's 6 o'clock. Nobody's on yet, but either
Really?
way, I mean, you will be able to see. I think. I don't know.
Oh.
We've never done it before. Oh look, the notification showed up. Cool. But we'll wait 5 more minutes.
Do people know to come on?
Well, those that are subscribed, they get notifications. And an hour ago, I posted
Do
it
you
that
feel like we probably should have went live on Facebook?
no, because YouTube, anybody can go on it. Not everybody has Facebook,
Oh.
and not everybody has Instagram. But visitors can go on YouTube.
True.
Know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
You extra.
know I'm extra. I'm extra. All right. I'm gonna wait for like a couple of minutes. At 6:05, I am going to wait. Well, we're gonna wait for people to come in. I don't know who's really gonna come in, but either way, at least they can watch this after this is recorded. But in the meantime, we're just gonna enjoy our time. It's our first live video, right?
I don't think it's our first.
Yes, it is. When do we ever do a live video?
I feel
On
like we
YouTube.
did. I feel like we did one a couple years ago. Not even
Not
a
on
couple years ago.
YouTube.
Last year.
Not on YouTube.
Didn't we go live on Instagram that one time?
Yeah, but that was, I don't remember what it was for though.
It was about our debt-free journey. I think we had just started.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's
and then
true.
we went live on Instagram, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Or was it Facebook?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, there's one person signed on. I don't know who it is. Whoever it is.
Hi, person.
Hi, person. If you can say something.
Anonymous person.
If you can say something in the chat.
Oh, it's Arturo.
Oh, yes. He told me he was going to sign on.
Yeah.
What's good, bro?
Hi, Arturo.
Now it feels real because we're actually live, you know?
How's it going?
How's Cali? How's that lockdown for you guys? But yeah, we just we're gonna wait till 6:05 for 3 more minutes. Then we're gonna officially start.
The lockdown is awesome, Arturo.
Hey.
Are you a homebody like me?
Sure.
Yeah, we're surviving too.
All right. Well, I'm enjoying it. We're both working from home, but I like it. I can do more things, and I have more time to do different things. So that's a cool, man. How's your dog, man? I know your dog is mad big. Less traffic in the street. Oh yeah, Cali be having some crazy traffic.
Not here. It's the same thing over here in Miami.
Nah, because I went to work. Listen, I went to work yesterday, and it was a smooth 1 hour drive, no traffic.
That's
coming back. It was like a 2 minute traffic, and that's it. That was nice.
An hour drive is still a lot.
Yeah, but there's no traffic.
That's true.
Imagine when there's traffic.
Yeah, there's a difference. There's a difference.
Exactly.
Especially in Miami, there's a huge difference.
Wow, I remember when you first got him or her. Wow, 3.5 years already? Man.
You don't know the gender of the dog?
I don't remember. I haven't seen the dog in a while. Maybe the dog took over his life. And the dog started posting pictures of him instead.
Wow. You would say something like that.
Oh, man. All right, we're going to go 1 more minute, and then we're going to officially start. Hopefully people can join, but if not, they'll just watch it afterwards.
I need a haircut.
All right. I'll give you a mohawk.
No, please don't do that.
Or a faux hawk.
I just need like
a military haircut.
No, I'm not ready for that yet. But just like a trim.
Oh, second person tuned in. Hi,
Reveal yourself.
Hi, second person. Say something in the chat. I don't know who it is. Reveal yourself.
I'm kind of hungry.
Don't worry. After this, we're gonna go eat at your mom's house.
Yes.
Which is like an hour away.
Thank God for Haitian mothers.
For real.
Okay? Especially in this COVID age right now.
Yep. Oh, second person left. Not cool.
Do you think maybe it was like a random person in the YouTube
it's possible.
hemisphere?
Because it is public for anybody.
Yeah.
But
it's a little weird.
I don't really care.
I care because
Okay.
you know
I don't care.
people out here crazy in these streets.
Don't worry. We geared up. Anyways.
Now you don't. I'm not gonna say anything because this is public. So we get okay.
Hey, second person, review yourself. We're about to start right now.
They don't have to.
We
reveal
waited
themselves,
5 minutes.
man.
Well,
just-
I want to say hi to whoever it is.
Well, you know, this is a free country, so
I know, but still, I want to say hi.
if they want to be anonymous, they can be anonymous.
But I want to say hi to whoever joined in. I want to shout that person out.
That's because you friendly.
Yeah, I am
You know,
friendly
you
like
want to
that.
say hi to everybody. People
That's
you don't
me.
know, people you know.
Yeah, man, you know. Anyways, if you don't want to reveal yourself, fine. Don't reveal yourself.
Don't. Moving on.
All right, guys. Well, it's 6 minutes into the video. We officially are going to start. Why am I screaming? I'm excited. That's
because
fine.
you're loud and I feel like I have a right to say this because I'm Haitian, so I get it, but you're Dominican and you guys just have this like
Also, you're stereotyping.
I'm not stereotyping, but I know listen,
No,
I
listen.
just
Said, like I tell my
I
students.
just said I can relate because I'm getting loud
look,
right now.
look,
I'm
like-
a Haitian woman. I get it.
Look, like I tell my students, when it comes to stereotype, I tell them,
Here we
listen,
go.
not every Dominican is loud. Not every Dominican loud, but I can say Emmanuel, who is Dominican, is loud.
Guys, it's only two of us in this house, okay? And he's yelling at me. I'm right next to him.
Whatever.
Let's get started, shall we?
Hi, third person, reveal yourself. All right, guys. So it's funny because when I shared that on social media that we were gonna put an update, some exciting news, I didn't tell you guys what it was.
That was completely on purpose, by the way.
I got a few messages from people
And
saying
when I
that,
saw that post, I was like, dude, why are you trolling the people? Like,
I got a few messages asking me if we're having a baby, and I'm like, nah, you're gonna have to keep waiting for that, man.
Yeah, guys,
Yeah.
we're not
there yet. You know,
eventually, God willing,
Yeah.
you know, God opens the womb.
Yeah.
But right now we're asking God to not open the womb yet.
Yeah. But anyway, so as you see the title of this live, so it's pretty much about an update on our debt-free journey. And right now we are credit card debt-free. Yes, finally. But we wanna do something, ask questions, and do it in chronological order. I want to give you guys some time to ask questions at the end, or even during the middle, you know, of us talking. You know, any comments or whatever the case. You know, feel free. There's a live chat, as you can see. My wife will probably be in charge of that, anyways.
Why do I have to be in charge of that?
I don't know. I just made you in charge right now. Anyways,
You told me
Yeah.
to be in charge of the chat. Okay.
All right. So number one, the question is, when and where did we hear about Dave Ramsey? All right. So I'm gonna start off with myself. So back in 2012, hey, fourth person, what's up? Back in 2012, I was living in New Jersey, and one of my good friends named Carlos.
Shout out to Carlos.
Shout out to Carlos if you ever see this video.
You gotta shout out your friend.
Listen, you beat me to it, so I was gonna do it.
Okay, I'm not doing that for you. You're not gonna volunteer me to shout out your friends. But I'm just reminding you. Go ahead.
But I was gonna do it anyways.
Tell your story.
Anyways, so Carlos introduced me, or he told me about Dave Ramsey, you know, and the debt-free and the 7 baby steps, and I'm like, what in the world is that? Who is this guy? So I looked it up, and I'm like, cool. Financial literacy, you know, I'm like, you know, and it caught my attention at that time, and I looked into it, and I think I did actually buy the Financial Peace University kit at that time. I don't remember finishing it, but I know I pretty much did almost all the classes. But it didn't, like, I didn't really follow through with going in that journey for different reasons, you know. And during that time, I was still going through a crisis with my father's death. Again, this is 2012. And I was just going through a lot in life and just a lot of stuff. And I never really continued, you know, but I've always, like, here and there listened to his, you know, videos and what he has to say, but never really followed through. So that's pretty much where it started for me in 2012. What about you, Miss Ovalle?
Yes, well, you're so extra, but I love you for it.
She's only saying that she's on camera. Anyways.
So when and where did I hear about Dave Ramsey? I've never heard this man's name until I met Emmanuel. And it's not because I didn't have an interest in, managing my finances. I was already starting to do that once I got my first job. But I didn't have a formula. I didn't have an action plan, none of that. I just kind of had it in my mind to just save, make sure I pay make the minimum payments on my credit card that I had at the time. And that was pretty much it. That was my plan. And then once I met Emmanuel and then we started dating, a little bit down the line, that's when we started talking about finances and what that would look like in marriage. And then he brought up Dave Ramsey, and I started to look into him more, and I liked the content. I thought it was very practical, very useful. And so, yeah, that's kind of how I got my journey started there. And of course, we're going to talk a little bit more about how we got started on paying off debt. But that's pretty much where I've gotten all of my financial literacy from Dave Ramsey and his team.
Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, that's good. Awesome. Look, babe, we can see each other on our phone.
Are you serious?
Look at that
Look
guy.
at this. And you say I get distracted easily, but you're on your phone watching yourself. I'm like, clearly you see who's the child and who's the adult in this relationship.
No. Okay. There's a difference between a child and a playful person. I'm playful. She's just, whatever.
I'm me.
Yeah.
And I'm always going to be me.
She's her.
And
she's a her. She's a her. All right. Anyways, number 2. When did we start our debt-free journey? So again, back in 2012, I did not really start. I was, taking some little steps, but because I really didn't, I don't know if Carlos was still new in this, and I didn't really have anybody that I knew about this or have financial literacy, and there was really no motivation or encouragement, so I never really followed through. So it wasn't until 2018, and I was already here in Miami. I pretty much started in 2018. I don't know how thorough I was in it already, but for sure, right when we got married, or right when we came back from our honeymoon, we got married December 29th of 2018.
Guys, he almost forgot. He almost forgot. Y'all saw that, right? Crazy. I'm going to stay quiet this whole video.
She's a distraction. Anyway, December 29th, 2018, we got married. And we went to our honeymoon, and we came back from Disney World, and we came back, and that's when we officially started our debt-free journey. We had the Every Dollar app. We were budgeting. We had everything. Of course, it didn't work out as perfect because it takes time. It was the first time we were actually budgeting. I never budgeted in my life until we got married, and I will talk more into that as the question goes by, but. That is when that's when I officially started my debt-free journey, is when we first got married. By the way, if you're interested in seeing our wedding ceremony video and our wedding overview, you can just click on one of those pictures. Pictures, other videos. And you can see videos of me surprising her back in 2017 in February when I moved here. You can click on that too and watch it.
Trying to get more subscribers.
Yeah, maybe.
More views, more likes.
Yeah, maybe I'll make some money one day through YouTube. I'll quit my job. No, I'm playing. Number 2.
That's your plan? That's your financial plan? Quit your job, become a YouTuber?
Hey, that's the new thing nowadays. People making banks. Anyways, when did you start your debt-free journey, babe?
Same time as you. When we got married, we had so the week that we got engaged, we kind of gave ourselves a week to settle down and come down from cloud 9, because it really was a surprise for me, which is shocking because I always find out surprises before they actually happen.
Mm-hmm.
So
not this time.
So after that week, we sat down at a local restaurant, and we had the talk. Okay, what are we doing moving on? In this engagement process, and the first thing that we talked about was finances, and I'm glad we had that discussion because this is an area that a lot of couples struggle in. And it's not to say that we haven't had our struggles. We've surely had our share of struggles, but I think what saved us a lot of time and a lot of arguments probably was just making sure that we were on the same page about what we wanted to do concerning our debt. So really, we started our debt-free journey before we got married. Even just starting with conversations, not actually paying off debt, but actually talking about adding up, calculating the debt that he had and the debt that I had, and putting that together, and then talking about what we were going to budget, how we were going to budget, and basically setting that plan in motion once we tied the knot. So
awesome. Bridget Francesca, hola. ¿Cómo estás? Dios te bendiga. Say it, babe. Dios te bendiga. You're not going to say it and say hi to her?
So who's Bridget?
I don't know. Dios te bendiga.
A friend?
I don't know, babe. I have to see the picture.
Oh, I don't.
If I see the... Oh, wait. That's... Hold on. I have to get closer to the screen. I think that's the Haitian Dominican sister from my Facebook.
Oh, Haitian Dominican. Hi.
If that's her, then yeah. I think you are... I think it's you. Come on, Sakpase.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go. Go ahead, babe. That's your people.
Sakpase.
That's your people right there.
Not Boule,
that's our people. Yeah, she's Dominican and Haitian.
That's dope.
But she speaks like a true Dominican.
Yeah. Like you.
Like I've heard her speak,
like
and I'm like, wow,
like,
she's so Dominican.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like loud. And,
yeah. Well, I don't know if she's loud, but she speaks like she has that accent.
Like the accent. Yeah. Okay, that I wouldn't know because I'm not Dominican.
But yeah, that's what's up. Well, thank you for coming. I didn't know that was.
Hi, Bridget.
I didn't know that was your. I didn't know that was your actual like full name. Pero tato. All right. So we're gonna continue. So question number 3. No. Yeah. Question number 3 is, where are we right now in this journey? So let me rewind a little bit. So I'm super excited. We're super excited because, all right. So listen, unfortunately, we have COVID-19.
No, we don't have COVID.
Well, we don't have COVID-19.
I think he means that we are in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic.
See, this is why I need her.
Listen.
This is why I need her.
Do you want me to just stop this entirely?
No.
I'm joking.
See, I need her.
But I needed to clarify that.
We are living in COVID-19 times.
Thank God.
But we don't have the virus. Unfortunately, that exists, which is keeping many people, including us, which is keeping us from going to work, and like many other people. But fortunately, with the grace of God, we are both working from home, and we're still earning a living. We're still getting paid. And you know what? I'm enjoying it because now I get to spend more time. I get to spend more time with my wife. I get to read more. Our sleep schedule is a mess. We be sleeping till like 2 a.m. just watching movies and whatnot.
Netflix has stolen.
Yeah, Netflix. Well, but we have become more intentional. Speaking to my best friend through Zoom or FaceTime, or even though we can't visit a church building, it sucks. But we are connected to 2 different churches actually, but which is cool. But it's difficult. It's weird, and we want this to be over. But at the same time, we're enjoying it because like I said, all the reasons I said, and 2, we're saving money. Listen, I'm not going to tell you how much, but we spend a good amount of money for gas every month, especially because I travel a lot, and so that gas money we're not spending it at all. We're actually saving gas miles, and all that kind of stuff. So we're able to save money only so we can pay off debt. All right. So that's a plus. On top of that, we finally got our stimulus check last month, which gave us the blessing to pay off one of our credit cards, right? And so we paid off that credit card, and as some of you guys saw last month that we posted it. You can focus on the question. I can't right now. Anyways.
Yes, because we know you get distracted.
I know I get distracted.
But we'll answer your questions. We'll answer
your questions. I know you just came in, but in the beginning of the video, I mentioned that at the end, we'll give you guys an opportunity to ask questions. You can ask the question now, but we'll look at the end and answer them in the meantime. But yeah, so we paid off that credit card, and then and then this month comes in, and I'm looking at my bank account. I'm looking at that we're saving extra money because no gas spending. Da, da, da. And I told babe, my wife, I was like, babe, I think we can pay off our next credit card next month. Okay, so it turned out that we're not even in the middle of the month yet, and we literally just paid off our fourth and last credit card. Listen, y'all, this was a mission. If I would have had financial literacy a long time ago, I would not be in this in this mess right now, right? And I wish I would have known about minimum payments and stay away from minimum pay. Oh, no, listen. If not, I would have been still paying off debt because interest and fees and all that kind of stuff. So we paid everything in one shot. Like, we don't even care. All right? That's all we need to do, get out of that debt. So yeah, we have no more credit cards. We are credit card debt free. Right? That's what I'm talking about. All right. So, but we still have debt, by the way. We have about $51,000 left. Yeah, I know to you guys, but oh my gosh, yeah, it's a lot. But if things go well and the way it's going now, and with the side hustle, whatever, we can probably be debt free by the end of next year or early 2022. All right, but it's gonna take time. It's gonna take time, and all that stuff. But yes, that is our new update. We are completely debt free from credit cards. So trust me, we don't have to worry about those credit cards again and have to sign in every month to pay for the bill. Like, it's annoying. It's annoying.
And I wish I knew better. When I applied for a credit card, I was 20 or 21. And obviously a college student. I mean, decisions we make in college, they send us a bunch of letters, tell us we need these things. And I actually got one. And there were times where it was helpful, seemingly helpful, but really in the long run, like, I don't want to owe money to anyone.
Yeah.
It just prevented me from doing a lot of things, having to make payments. And, I wasn't making a lot of money in my first job. I was working part-time and going to school and paying out of pocket. So it was really hard. So it's just a blessing and it's a relief to finally be free of credit cards and move forward in this journey.
Yeah,
sure.
That's awesome. That's so true, man. That's a burden. That's a burden. And now that we're credit card debt free, like, we're able to have more money. We pretty much gave ourselves an increase, but with that increase, we're paying towards our debt, which we'll be talking about the baby steps in a few. So that is our new update. No more credit cards. Number 4, number 4. What is the hardest and what is the easiest thing about this journey? So I'll give it to you, babe. I'll start off with you. What is the hardest?
I'm gonna start with the easiest.
See, she wants to go the easy way out. Anyways.
No. I like the hard things. It usually takes longer to talk about, but the easiest thing about this journey, what's been easy for us, I think, is being disciplined about doing the monthly budget and having those discussions.
All right, Arturo, we'll talk, man. You can still watch the video after this is over. Take it easy, man.
And because the way my mind works, like, I have like a process type of mind, and my mind operates in like process and details and programs and things like that. So seeing a budget, even though I'm the free spirit, as they would say in the Ramsey world, Emmanuel's the nerd. He's the one that does the budget. He's the one that's tracking everything. And I'm the free spirit that's kind of like, okay, fine, go ahead, whatever, just fill me in. Let me know what's happening. But, this process has allowed for both of us to come together and bring what each of us can offer to the table. Me being a little bit more free thinking when it comes to finances, just helping him to be open-minded, and him being a little bit more fixed and more of the nerd, helping me to stay, grounded and focused on the goal. So that's the easy part. I feel like that's been easy.
Let me talk on the easy before you go into the hard. Are you done with the easy part?
Yes.
Okay, because I cut you off a lot. Anyways,
yes.
So the easy part of being in this journey is that once you get used to it, once you get used to it and get rid of the hard, then things are just flow easy. Like the beginning of what we're gonna talk about the hard part. Once we get used to it and doing it every month, then after that it just becomes easy. Just like anything in life. At first things are hard. You have to adapt to it. You got to get used to it. But then once you are in that, zone, once you're already doing it, it's a piece of cake. You get used to it. It's your mind is trained already to think a certain way. So we'll talk about the hardest.
For me, I think what I've seen was hard for the both of us was holding each other accountable when it comes to spending. And it's kind of hard. It was hard for me to not, I guess, what's the word? Kind of loom over him. I don't know if that's the correct term, but be over him when he's making certain purchases, because the week prior he's told me to not make those kinds of purchases, and then he's making those purchases, and I'm just like, bro.
By the way, this has nothing to do with controlling. Just in case.
Like it wasn't me being controlling or even him, when he's done that to me. It's just kind of like we were learning how to hold each other accountable when it comes to the spending. This is something that's very new for us. Neither of us have been married before. Neither of us have, done budgets before. Neither of us have had joint accounts before. So there's just a lot of dynamics that's, at play here. So we're learning how to be accountable to each other. And that financial accountability was just a little rough. And again, we're coming from two different families of origin who we learned about finances in different ways from our parents and our families, and just witnessing how that was handled. So just kind of taking all of that and all of that baggage and our prior knowledge and bringing it into the marriage. And for me, just learning to be, more understanding. And when I'm coming forward, to be a lot more gracious and wanting to come from a place of, let's do this together. Let's figure this out together, rather than, well, you bought chips today and you told me not to buy chips last week because you want to pay this bill. And, like
it's all about hypocrisy, right?
Yeah. Like it's just, and it got ugly. And so I just really
chips.
had to, but it was more than chips though. I think it was just the fairness thing. For me, I'm all about fairness. Like things have to be fair. And if it's not, then, you're going to hear it from me. I'm all about justice and fairness and all of that. So I really had to, God sat me down and gave me, that talk, like, look, calm down, and he, God walked me through that. And I learned to just how to hold my husband accountable when it comes to finances. So that was definitely a rough patch to get through, but
amen, Bridget.
God, God, he directed us. He directed me as a wife on how to approach my husband and to not be so hard on him, because this is new for him too. He's also the head of the household. So that's another, huge responsibility. He's leading by example, and, I have to follow. So, there's a lot of pressure there.
Oh, what a godly wife you are.
Goodness, really. I'm just being honest. Darling, stop. I love you.
Anyways, but yeah, so the hardest thing for me, there's many different things. Number one, I want to tell you that I never had financial literacy in my life until I learned about Dave Ramsey. My parents growing up, for whatever reason, they never ever spoke to me about money. I mean, the farthest I've had about learning about money is to save up for a car, and my father held me accountable. Every time I got paid, I would save, I think, $100, whatever, for a car. And I did get a car, but I never knew how to manage money like most people how we should. I never knew anything about budgeting. We never spoke about credit cards. They had credit cards, but they were so responsible. But I never knew anything about it, not really. So coming into this journey, it was so many things that was hard. First of all, I have this app called Every Dollar. It's something that it tracks, and it's from Dave Ramsey, and it's free. You pretty much link all your bank accounts or credit card accounts or whatever, and where every time you spend, it tracks, everything you spend, and then you budget, and you pretty much budget everything that you're going to spend for the month, or your bills or whatever, and then it tells you how much you have left. And every time you spend money outside of that, it tracks in, and you just put that money, like let's say you spent $20 for gas, you drag that $20 into the gas, section, whatever. But it's really good. It really helps out. But and Dave Ramsey is right. It takes about 3 months for you to get used to it because it was not easy. It was confusing, dealing with numbers. I hate numbers.
Even now, like I hardly look at that app. It gives me a headache, and I already don't like numbers.
Exactly.
I'm more of like words and creative. I'm more on right brained. And so seeing all of that, I'm just like, okay,
yeah.
Bye.
So that was difficult.
But I have to have it.
Yeah, that was difficult for me. Another thing is being consistent, and you know what? Since we started a debt-free journey, we had made mistakes. I had made mistakes by using our credit card to buy some stuff, even though I was against it, but I still used it because I was like, I need to get it, or because we were in this hole, which shouldn't have happened, which is why you have an $1,000 emergency fund, which we talk about later. That's very important. But we paid the amount of debt that we paid last year was like about $10,000 or $11,000, but it was literally less because there were times that we used a credit card, so we had to pay. So but now we're done with our credit cards. We know, I don't care about those airline miles, points. No, I'm not going there. I don't care what you got to say. Anyways,
that was hostile.
I know.
I'm proud of you.
But yeah, and then not only that, doing this together is hard because we both have to be in a financially same page, financially speaking. Because if I want to be debt free and we budget, but she doesn't want to do that, then it's not going to go right. I don't know how true this is now as far as percentage, but over 50% of marriages fail because of money problems.
Half.
It's sad, but that goes to show a lot. Financial literacy is important. Money is not everything to life, but money is a lot of things to life, especially in this country, especially in this world. You can't do nothing without money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can, we're like pretty much modern day slavery. We have to work for money unless you become a business owner, but you're still doing stuff. So that was pretty much the hard stuff for me, and of course we had a little arguments about spending this and not spending that, and then I had to catch myself because I spent on something when I told her not to spend it on that, but then I go and spend it like, oh, snap. And it's just it's tempting, and let me be honest with you. We moved in this apartment in September, and by the grace of God, listen, everything that we have in this place, from our kitchen dining room table, to our sofas, to my lovely bookshelf over there, to our TV, to our desk in our other room, to our in our bedroom, the drawer, the dresser, everything that we purchased, everything was done in cash. We didn't use credit cards. Nothing. We didn't even have a TV until 2 months ago, and we moved in September. You know what I'm saying? And we were just like, if we don't have the money, we can't buy it. We're not gonna use our credit card for it, because what if an emergency happened and we had to use that credit card? We had no emergency fund. We have to pay that credit card off, and then it's gonna be harder to build that emergency fund. So we waited and we made sure we bought everything cash. Everything, which I loved it. So we got 3 more. Number 5, do we have side hustles? Yes and no. I'll explain the confusion of why yes and no. So before the quarantine, I was doing Uber. So we both have full-time jobs, and after I would get out of work at least 3 times a week, I would do Uber and Lyft after work. Sometimes I'll do it like Saturday, midnight until like 6, 7 in the morning, until Friday into Saturday. But pretty much I do Uber and Lyft, and I'll make the money from there to pay off debt. I'll do Uber Eats here and there, but also we were also providing childcare every other Saturday for, I don't know, for like 12 hours, 13 hours a day.
It was a day, yeah.
Yeah, it was like 13 hours a day, and obviously we were getting paid for that. And we were going to be taking care of another child too, but I don't know if that didn't work. That didn't happen. But so far, Those are the three side hustles, or two you can say. So the Uber and Lyft, and the providing the childcare. So we were getting a lot of extra income as well, which helped us pay off some debt. So that is our side hustles. They are. I want to think about other side hustles. You know, right now we're not getting paid extra because we're choosing not to do Uber or Lyft because safety purposes. I don't want anybody going in my car and have to. I don't want that. So we're just gonna chill for now and wait until everything is over. Once I start working again at the office and schools, then I'll be doing Uber and Lyft again, and hopefully childcare. So that is pretty much a yes and no. So right now we do have it, but right now it's not operating because of the coronavirus. Number 6, what is our long-term goal? Man, there's a lot.
Loaded.
There's a loaded question. I guess we'll answer it by talking about things that we want to do, especially after being debt free. And it's funny because a lot of people, I know a lot of people are waiting for us to have a child. And trust me, we want a child, all right? But as a married couple, we talk about it a lot. Personally, we don't want a child now because we want to be debt free. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to. We don't want to be stressed out from all the debt and then bringing a child into the world and then just stressing even more and it's just, it would be too much. And I'm not saying that having a child while being in debt is bad or is wrong. God is not going to punish us for that or punish you for that. But that's just our decision. We want to wait until we're debt free. Now, if we do have a child, if something does happen and we have a child while we're in debt, then so be it. We're still going to love our child. We're still going to worship God. We're still going to do what we can to get out of debt. Nothing's going to change. But
I think, I'm sorry to cut you off, but we want our future children to experience financial freedom. Again, it's a burden to be in debt and to owe money. And, you're paying rent, you're paying utilities.
Is that
no, I don't know.
Oh, okay, no.
Hey. You're paying for all of these other things, and you're also caring for a human being. That's first priority. You have to make sure your children's needs are met. So, that on top of other things, it can be very stressful. And, I'm a psychology major, so I'm all about, how can we relate, especially to our family and friends, and how does our toxic stress affect our environment and those in that environment. And I certainly don't want my children to experience, any of that stress or, any of those have that negative impact in their lives. So we just want our children to be able to have the fruits or enjoy the fruits of that financial freedom and prepare them to be better, prepare them for their future. And when it's time for them to come up in the world and go out and make something of themselves. So that's really my heart behind that.
Awesome. Yeah. So before I continue, I just want to say, I want to give a shout out to those who are tuning in. For those that just came in or those that have been in, feel free to let me know who you are so we can, give you thanks and shout you out. And also, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to write your questions in now or whenever. And towards the end, Kiana and I, we're going to look through them and answer it as best as we can. So continuing with that question, what is our long-term goal? So another thing, so that's it. We want to be debt free before having children. Now, that does not mean we're going to have children right away after we're debt free. Who knows? I don't know. But I know that for me personally, I want to go to seminary. At least that's a aspiration. Right? That's the right word?
Yeah.
An aspiration to go to seminary. She wants to go back to school for graduate school. She made a big, hard decision, to not continue going now because we don't want to pay.
Basically, I would have had to take loans.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot too.
For my graduate program. And again, that would have made the burden of debt heavier. And I don't believe that student loans is good debt. There's a lot of people who believe that because you're investing in your education. And I get that. I understand that. I'm a big advocate for education for sure, but I just didn't feel that that was the right decision or the right lane for me. It was a very, very tough choice for me to make because I really did. I wanted to go to grad school, but I knew that if I made this sacrifice now, then in the long term, we would be better off. And I would rather go to school with no debt, and be able to afford to pay out of pocket. And, you know, if God blesses me with financial aid, that would make it even better. But, you know, that was particularly hard for me.
Yeah. Another thing too is, I lost my train of thought. Another thing too is that because I want to go to school, also, you know, I don't want to take loans. You know, as a husband, as a provider of the household, I don't want to bring home debt and struggle to provide for my household, especially if I have kids, or if we have kids later on. I don't want to go through that, you know. And I know people do it all the time, but that's, you know, more power to you. But we don't. We choosing to not go that route. So, you know, another thing that, you know, and we don't know if we want to stay in Miami long term. You know, I actually think about it a lot. I fear buying a house in Miami. I don't know how that's gonna happen. Not that it can't happen, but I just don't. I don't know. God has all the plans. You know, I can't foresee the future. I just gotta trust in the one who has the future for us. You know, so you know those are some of our I guess short term goals or long term goals. You know, we definitely want to own a house in the future. We definitely want kids. You know, I definitely want to be, if the Lord wills, full time ministry or whatever it is, you know. But you know, we want to raise a godly, you know, family, you know, kids, you know, raising them in the right way in the things of the Lord and whatnot. You know, there's a lot of things. When you're debt free, you can do so much. You know, like I wish I could be more generous, or I wish I could give more, you know, for people who need, or just simply like, hey, I want to bless you with this. You know, sometimes we do that with some of our friends that we have. You know, I tell babe, oh babe, I want to give this person, you know, such and such amount of money, you know, just because, you know, they have a child. You know, I know how probably hard it is, or whatever the case may be. And we do it, little things here and there. But imagine when we're debt free, we could do so much more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's, you know, I don't know if you have any other long term, or if you have a long term goal.
No, I mean my dream has always been to own a home. And as a child, like I'm fortunate enough to have grown up in a home. And have spent my childhood with my parents and my younger brother Philip in a home. And it was a beautiful experience to just have our own space and have a huge yard and have family gatherings. So, you know, I want that for my family. I want that for, you know, my parents when they're elderly, my younger brother, when he starts his own family. I want to be able to, you know, have that experience as well. And, you know, be able to, if God is willing, you know, I don't know what he has in store for me career wise. My aspiration is to go to grad school and, you know, become a licensed therapist. But I've always desired to be home with my kids. I'm not a busybody, but I don't like to stay in one place all day. But I do want to be available to my children, my family. I do want to be able to pick them up from school. I do want to be able to help them with homework and cook them dinner and have lunch ready, and, you know, all these other great things that I know staying at home with your children is not like, you know, always a walk in the park. Being a mother is completely like a full-time job. It is a huge responsibility being a parent. And there's nothing like it. But when, you know, there's a difference when you're just able to be there and be with your children. And I've seen, you know, my parents, they worked very hard. They both were managers in 2 different retail companies. And I grew up and I've watched them work so hard. A lot of my work ethic comes from watching my parents. But I saw them struggle. And, you know, fortunately, we did get to go on vacations with them and we did get to spend time with them. But there were times, you know, as a teenage girl, I would wait for my mom because she would be coming home at 3 a.m. and I was scared. And, you know, I was afraid because, you know, maybe she might not make it home because she's falling asleep on the road or she's stressed or, you know, whatever it is. And I don't want to be, that's the sacrifice that my parents had to make. They had to do that. They emigrated to this country. They got jobs. They stayed in those companies. They made the money. They cared for me and my brother. And, I just want to be able to do that, work hard, but still, be available to my kids and not have to, stress out and sacrifice so much and not be present. So that's my long-term goal.
True. You forgot one more thing.
What is that? I'm scared.
Don't you want to write a book?
Oh.
You forgot about that.
Well, I don't know why I'm so modest about mentioning that. I'm not ready. I'm not ready for that.
We'll say that for another day.
People who are very close to me know that I have been, writing literally since I was 7 years old. It's always been my dream to publish a book, to write a book, and not to gain notoriety or anything, just to, I have a lot of things to say. So that's something you need to stay tuned for. I promise I will talk more about it when I'm ready, but just know that I do want to write a book.
And our last thing is tips for you people. All right. I wish I would have wrote tips.
Okay, so let's give them like 2 or 3 tips each.
Well, okay, let me think of one. One of them, and again, this does not mean that it works out for everybody. It works out for us perfectly. So ever since we got married, except for a few months we didn't do it, but ever since we got married, we've been doing grocery shopping with using cash. All right. We don't use our debit card.
Mm-hmm.
We take out every time we get paid. So we shop 2 times a month, right? Pretty much grocery shopping.
Bi-weekly. Yeah.
We shop bi-weekly in different stores. We do bi-weekly, and we take out a certain amount. So let's just say in 1 month we're gonna spend this amount. So the first week that we shop, the first time we shop, we take out half, and we put it in our envelope, which was called the envelope system, which is for grocery only. So we go and we buy, and the purpose is that that money is only for groceries.
Mm-hmm.
And that money, either I spend it all or I don't spend it all. But if I spend it all, that means I do not go back to the bank or credit union or ATM and take out more money. Nope. That $200, that's what it is. That's why we have to be wise, because when we go to Target, we go in for one thing, like I did one day, and we came out with like $200 of clothes or something like that.
Listen, that was wild. I did not. We literally, this was a while ago, but we literally went to Target to buy socks. Okay, socks. And we came out with a $260 bill.
Yeah.
This man bought like 4 pairs of pants, 5 shirts, and I had stuff too. But it was insane.
But guys, yeah, we make sure that we make a list on my phone or her phone of what we're gonna get, what we need to get. Because then if not, you're gonna be spending money and buying stuff that you don't really need. So once that is done, if I have money left over, I could do different things. I could either take out to eat with that money. I can just put it towards debt. Wow. Put it towards debt.
Don't put nothing towards debt. We're not there yet.
I can put it towards debt, or I can just what is it called?
Roll it over.
Roll it over for the next grocery shopping. So it's that grocery shopping amount plus what we have left. And the same thing, second time we go grocery shopping, we spend it all, or we spend it not all, and boom, and we do it, repeat the process. And ever since we've been doing that since January, since January of last year, we never went over the budget.
Yep.
For the most part, we've always had at least like $10, $15. There was a few times that we only had $30 left. You know what I'm saying? So that really helped us a lot. Now again, that may be not for you, but if you know that you struggle and that you're gonna be buying stuff that you don't need, I suggest you do that.
If your spending habits are, not concrete, like they're not all the way there, then that would be a good practice, yes. Honestly. And we're serious about it. Like and that's because both of us have had spending issues, like spending money on random things. I told you guys a Target story. So don't be like us, okay, in that aspect. But we literally, when we go grocery shopping, Emmanuel, like I would pick out the stuff that we need typically that's what I'm doing. and Emmanuel has the calculator on his phone, and he's literally adding the prices of everything that we're picking up.
I take the amount of cash that we have for grocery shopping, I put it on my calculator, and then I subtract every item that we get.
So yeah, he's subtracting. So yeah, it's even down to that. I know that's super meticulous, but that's what we have to do because we know what we're capable of financially, and we're trying to build habits for success. So
yeah. Two more things. Another thing is budget. Listen, before the end of the month, I do it at least a week or a few days before the new month comes in. Budget. If you want to do paper and pencil, like back in the day, do it. But I use the Every Dollar app because I'm not good with math. I need to let it calculate for me. Make sure you budget everything because you need to give the money. You need to give your dollar. What is it? How does Dave Ramsey say?
How does Dave Ramsey
I don't know how you said it.
Give your dollar a name?
Yeah, give your dollar a name.
Yeah.
All right? Because if you don't, you're going to be spending money on places that you didn't even plan on spending. And then you look at the bank account, oh snap, all my money is gone. Where the heck did it go? Mm-hmm. And you don't even realize. Like I check my bank account often. You know, now I don't as much because I'm not spending much, especially because we're not going out. But I look at it all the time. But yeah, you must budget. That is very important. Like there's a small percentage of people in this country that budget. And because of that, their money, they fly away from your hands, from your pockets.
Yeah.
Budget.
And then on top of that, bills.
Yeah, bills.
You know, automatic
payments.
Auto pay. Yeah. You know, so once all of that is taken care of, and then you got whatever you got left in the bank, you spend it on, you know, I don't know, Starbucks or whatever, Chipotle, like me. Yes. And before you know it, or you go out with your friends one night and your money's gone.
There was a meme. There was a thing that I sent you. I put it on Facebook or Instagram. If you want to spend $10,000 in 1 year, just spend I think $12.76 every day. Like I never really thought about that. Like wow, there's people that buy Starbucks or coffee every day, and that adds up like crazy. You don't want to do that. You know, my third tip, I have more, but I'm thinking of this one only. I really liked it. We're doing this. I think this is a cool thing. I just came up with it. We both have cars, right? And because we drive a lot because of, you know, work, and then I do Uber and Lyft, you know, we car maintenance. So what I started doing, I told the babe, you know what we should do? Every time you and I get paid, let's take out $50, which is $100 in total every time, and put it towards car maintenance, saving for car maintenance. So every time, so that way we don't have to wait, you know, later on, I'm like, oh snap, I have to spend $200 to, you know, for a car maintenance when I wanted to spend it for this or for that, when I can just feel it now and take out the money the moment I get paid. You know, that way 3 months, 4 months from now, we have hundreds of dollars already saved up in case we need to do our car service, apart from our dollars emergency fund. So we do that. So that's my tip number 3. I think that's helping us out a lot.
Yep.
You have any tips?
You said all of them already. I can't think of anything else, honestly.
Awesome. Look at that. Yay. Can you I'm trying to figure out who you are, but the name doesn't, you know, ring my bell.
I think they're trying to hide their identity, babe.
Maybe, I guess.
Why do you always want to know who's in the chat?
I don't know, like, because I want to shout them out.
People just want to be low key, you know. Not everybody's like a big.
You want to fight?
No, I don't want to fight.
You want to kiss?
Not on cam. Oh my god.
Yeah, she's afraid of kisses, man.
Go away.
All right, go ahead. Tips.
No, seriously, I think we said it all. I think that's it.
All right, so we're gonna end it with like this. We're gonna go to the questions and comments. If you have questions, write it down now. So let's talk about real quick. Right now we used to have like 9 different debts that we were paying off. Now we have 4. One of them is like not a big one, which is my student loan, my last student loan payment, which is not a lot. It'll take like 3-4 months to pay it off, maybe. But then we have the big ones. Like she has a big student loan debt. Then we have 2 cars, which is gonna take, you know, pretty much the whole next year. Some of this year and the whole next year. Mm-hmm. But we have 4 debt. We were 9. Now we're down to 4 because we've been hustling and grinding and doing
Lots
whatever
of
you
sacrifice.
can. Sacrifice. So talking about hustling and grinding, what are some things, and we're not debt free yet, but we're on our journey. And it's one of the questions that Dave and Ramsey asked the people who are debt free. Like, I don't know how exactly he words it, but what do you want to tell people? What did you do to be debt free? Like, what are the things? I'll mention some of them. For a married couple, if you're married, I want to talk about being on the same page with your spouse. Oh, it's this girl. Oh my gosh, yo.
I would have never guessed.
My Congo sister. What's good? Now I can realize it. Anyways. Well, welcome. I'm glad you tuned in, and I know you did tell me that you were gonna tune in. But anyways, what was I saying?
For married couples.
Oh yeah, for married couple. If you're married, you gotta be on the same page, man. That is super important. Again, if you're not on the same page financially, it's just gonna be like a tug of war, man. It ain't gonna go well. Which
the goal is, with marriage, like you're becoming one. Okay, you're bringing. There's a lot that both individuals are bringing to the table, and so you bring that together, and then there's going to be a lot of compromise. There's going to be a lot of sacrifice.
Yes.
But the goal is to come to an agreement.
Yes.
Come to a consensus about what you want your future to look like.
Yes.
Because you're in this together. It is not. This doesn't have to be a fight.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that you're. If you're in the struggle, you're doing it together.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. By the way, now I really caught your first. It's your cancel whatever. I know what you're trying to say now, because this girl's always canceling me as a friend. So I'm like, okay.
Canceling.
She's always canceling me. It's all right. You can cancel me all you want.
What you be doing for people to be canceling?
It's all right.
Like that.
They can cancel me all you want. Jesus will never cancel me. Anyways.
Okay.
All right. Anyways. But yes, married couple, we work at it together. This is a fight, a battle that we do this together. If you're single, whether you're single or married, man, it takes consistency. You need to be consistent. Again, we mentioned during our journey that we have messed up, we have failed, we had used our credit cards here and there, we had whatever, but we did not stay in the ground. We did not stay in the ground. We continued. We got up, and we learned from that mistake. You know what I'm saying? We learned from that mistake. So we are consistent. That's all that matters. Consistency. We were also persistent. You also got to know your why. Why do you want to get out of debt? Now, our long-term goal is not simply to get out of debt. That's actually like a very small thing compared to the big thing that we actually want, long-term future. You got to know your why. Why do you want to get out of debt? You know what I'm saying? Because if you want to get out of debt just to be debt-free, then okay, what's next?
What's next?
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we want to be debt-free. We got to be persistent. We got to be consistent. You got to be budget every month. Do not, if you messed up, okay, get back to it the next month. You know what I'm saying? Be consistent. Another thing I want to say is be encouraged with other people. Find a community group with people who are in the baby steps. I'm part of a Facebook group from Dave Ramsey community group. I forgot what it's called on Facebook, and I'm always on it. I'm always asking questions and hearing people and sharing their stories. Listen to Dave Ramsey podcast episode. You'll learn a lot. It gets to the point that I listen to it so much that when people call in to ask questions, I answer the question before Dave Ramsey does, and I get it right. It's that crazy, right? Another thing too is listen to the debt-free screams. Oh, those are so helpful. I love going to YouTube and I just listen to the debt-free scream. Listen, what we have going on as debt and whatever, it's nothing compared to what we hear in a bunch of families. I'm talking about single mothers with like 3-4 kids paying off $100,000 in debt, and they do it in 2 years because they just went radical. We can do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Anything else?
Those were still tips, right?
Well, those are more like, those are tips of all. That's more like, how do we stay in the game?
Well, there will be moments where you want to give up. You're human, and so humans get tired. Humans get frustrated. And after much striving, you just feel like you can't go on anymore. But that's, just like Emmanuel mentioned, you have to remember your why. Why are you doing this? That is the motivating force. And as long as you keep that, in front of you at all times, and you're always reminding yourself of your why, then that's what's going to continue to energize you and push you to the finish line. And of course, if you're a believer, continue to seek the Lord on this as you are on this journey. you know um God has definitely brought us closer together through this process. Again, lots of sacrifice and, lots of hard times, lots of arguments, disagreements, I should say. It wasn't like full-fledged arguments, yelling matches or anything, just more so disagreements and awkward moments and failures, trials and errors. But, that's the process of learning.
Mhm.
You're going to make mistakes. You're not going to know what you're doing all of the time. But as you go through the process, you learn and you get better at it, and eventually you master it. And so just enjoy the process, and you get to know yourself in the process. And just continue to strive. Don't give up. If you fall, get back up.
Yep.
And keep going.
Yep. And as we start wrapping up, I just want to quickly tell you about 7 baby steps. I'm going to mention 3. Baby step number 1 is save $1,000 for an emergency fund. Remember, emergency. Buying a new sofa is not an emergency, okay? Emergency is your tires went out, your brakes went out, I don't know, medical bill, whatever. Do not use your credit card. Do not borrow money either at all from anybody. I know things happen in life and you just can't take that route, but do whatever you can to not borrow money. 2 is once you pay off once you have $1,000 emergency fund, make sure that you hop on paying off debt. So how it works is something called the debt snowball. All right. So for example, let's say you have 5 multiple debt. You list them from smallest to largest, no matter high interest. All right, smallest to largest. You pay all payments minimum except for the smallest one. You add more to it. So once you pay off that smallest debt, whatever you were paying on that debt, you continue and add that to the next smallest debt, and that becomes the debt snowball. And you'll see how fast your debt will be paid off. And then number 3, once you're debt free completely, number 3 is save 3 to 6 months of your expenses, your monthly expenses, to build up your fully funded emergency fund. All right. So that was it. I'm gonna go real quick. Look at some comments.
I think Bridget was the only one that asked the question.
Bridget said, "Do you feel that the current quarantine has unintentionally blessed your relationship and marriage? I see that it has done a lot of unexpected good in my home." Yes, I believe it has.
Yeah, for
financially, spiritually, spending time with each other, calling our friends. It definitely has. It definitely has. So yes. And then she commented, "Praise God, congratulations on paying the card." She is also what a blessing. Oh, she said, "Amen. We are called to hold one another accountable, but also reinforce and support our spouses for godly goals. Any good Proverbs 31 woman will strive for that." And almost every Haitian or I don't know
Martinican
woman I know is like that. Kudos to you, my sis in Christ. And then she said, "It's hard. In my previous marriage, we didn't talk about that. And unfortunately, I didn't feel comfortable talking about that until with 5 years into my current relationship. And it's been 8 years. Wow. Praise God. Praise God." Well, so we're ending for 2 things. I just encourage you guys, if you are in debt, to keep going forward. If you need help, contact us, inbox me, DM me, whatever the case may be. We can sit down. Finances are tough, of course. We can, if you need to contact me, we can talk. Me and my wife, we can FaceTime you, we can Zoom, whatever. We can go over it. Listen, I'm not doing this for money. This is a free consultation, all right?
Free consultation.
All right, I'm not doing this for money. All right, I'm very serious. If you need help, if you don't know where to start, I can help you. I can guide you. You just need to do that work. So don't feel bad. So 2 last things before we get off. We are going to be making another video soon, and it's going to be completely different from this topic. And the next video is going to be, you remember?
What is it going to be about,
That's
baby?
gonna be a good
Please
one. Is our
enlighten
next
me.
video, our next YouTube live video is going to be about our story, how we met,
Oh,
how we
the good
met,
stuff.
where did we meet, who said I love you first, who kicked game first, who flirted first, who rejected first, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, next video we're gonna prepare for that. We're gonna be setting it up. So we're gonna be talking about our story, and it's just at the end of the day, we do this for the glory of God. The second thing is, if you want to be part of this debt-free journey, hit us up. And I don't know when, but maybe I will do some type of raffle or whatever, and I will give you a $130 gift to do the Financial Peace University. It is an 8-week course or 9-week. You can take it at your own pace, and there's a lot of information that you learn from those videos. And it's Dave Ramsey, Rachel Cruz, Chris Hogan, and other people. And and testimony is really good. So again, two things. Our next video is going to be about our story, how we met, and all that kind of stuff until now, and what God has been doing and what He's doing. And I may have a giveaway some other time about having Financial Peace University. So with that being said, we're going to quickly pray for you guys as we say goodbye until another day. So let's just pray real quick. Father God, I just want to give you thanks for this beautiful evening. Thank you for allowing us to wake up to this day. Thank you for allowing us to breathe the very air that you have given us, my Lord. Thank you for giving us the roof over our heads, the bed to sleep on. Thank you for giving us the water to drink and the food to eat. Thank you. We thank you for allowing us to smell, to think, and to hear, and to speak, and to taste, and to touch, and to walk. Father God, I thank you. Without you, without none of that stuff, Father God, we would not be here. I thank you for sending your son Jesus to die on the cross for our sins, my Lord. I also pray for everybody who's listening, who was listening, or who will listen, Father God, and that those who are struggling in this moment with finances, those who don't know how to budget, those who feel like giving up, Father God, those who are just feel like there's no hope. Father God, I ask that you may give them strength. I ask that you send people our way, or you send people wherever you want, Father God, as long as they get that help and that guidance, my Lord. And I just thank you for allowing us to do this video. That it may not be the first time, and I just thank you because your grace and your mercy and your love and your goodness endures forever. And I pray for those that they may continue in the faith, and for those that are not in the faith, that you may touch them, that you may restore their hearts, that you may do something new in their life and change them, transform them, so that they can live a godly life in you, Father God. We pray in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Amen. All right, guys. We love you guys. So next time.
Bye, guys.
Peace.